Right. Hi, YouTube. This is Sadditty Says, and we're back with another episode. And I have a guest tonight, Cousin Romy.
What's up, everybody?
And we're having a conversation tonight about, do men lead today in the relationship? Are they capable of leading? A lot of women, I believe, are kind of taking over the realms, and the manosphere have taken their stand and have said, and tried to reclaim their crown, and where I feel it belongs. And so I just want to get a man's opinion on that topic of whether or not men are leading today, and if they're capable of doing so. So Romy.
So first and foremost, when it comes to leading, like you have to actually learn how to be led. Like you have to follow first. So in other words, if you've never done that, then it's going to be hard for you to be in that stance or in that mode, And when I say that, strategically speaking, when it comes to leading, things may be unpopular, things you may say, things you may do may not be right or willing or whatever the case may be. But I feel like men can lead, but at the same time, men have allowed themselves to be misled based on what social media, various other platforms, has done.
Okay. Do you feel like men are leading today? Mostly, the majority of men that are in relationship, do you feel they're leading, and are they leading properly?
No, because they are not leading because social media, Shanae and them, and cousin Tawana or cousin Rico, or various other things that may take place, but they're not leading because they're looking at other external things and not looking at what they have is in front of them.
So do you feel like it's financial? Do you feel like it's because they don't make enough to provide the way they want to, or that just because the woman may just have to make more, and so the person who makes more usually has more stuff? I mean, it's just how it works. So you feel like women control the purse strings because now they're in relationships where they're making more, or does that even matter?
I don't think so, because it's not about how much you make. It's about what you produce and what you have. So it's not all about I make X, Y, and Z, because you can make X, Y, and Z and still have X, Y, and Z to pay out. Okay. Unlike another person that may not make as much as you make, but they're not putting out as much as you are in terms of your expenses.
Right.
So I think that it has a lot to do with how men perceive themselves, as well as women, like really being honest with the man that you're with, or whomever you're with, right, at that point in time.
Okay, I want to talk about a spiritual aspect. Do you feel like men can lead spiritually, and do you feel like they have to grow into that?
Yes.
Okay.
They do. And the only reason why I say they have to grow into it, because in order for you to really know how to lead or how to kind of give one or someone else something, you have to accept a lot of things that's inside of you. And I think that has a lot to do with acceptance. If you like just being honest, I think it has a whole lot to do with being acceptance.
From my experience, I feel like women bring the men to church, and I have my own testimony with that. I think women bring the men to church, and then they kind of, then from hearing that message, it's just like women were just the vessel that got them there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then once they got there, they heard something that touched their heart, and they formed their own relationship with God. which then can only benefit the relationship. And I think that's why I say I feel like men have to grow into that, because that's a process.
I don't know, but for myself, I could say I was always the one to say, hey, let's go to church. So every time I was in a relationship and a female was like, let's go to church. For me, that was like, yeah, let's go to church. And that kind of anteed up or made the process a little bit easier, if you will.
Okay. It's just funny. I hear a lot of women say, or just totally discount men because they feel like he's not all the way together. But I listen to a lot of male life coaches and dating coaches, and they say that a man is not going to be all the way put together because a man needs a woman's influence to take him to the next level. So you don't have to be perfect. You could just see his character or whatever you like in him and build upon that. But don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, as they say. Or take the meat and throw out the bones, eat the meat and throw out the bones.
Right,
but anyway,
right.
It's like, you have to see past certain things. And I think women really don't understand that. They really want men to be perfect. And that's something I'm going to talk about in part 2 of this one, about the women's point of view. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, I truly believe women just are so hard on men, and that they don't realize that the power of a woman's influence and what that does for a man. And that's where that phrase came from. Behind every good man is a good woman.
I mean, and that's truly definitely real. Because when you have a real lady or someone that's beside you and they don't take, okay, yeah, you may have a couple flaws or whatever the case may be, but if they say, hey, I'm with you and I'm going to do this and I'm going to rock with you, and they're not showing you any, like, misconceptions or misinformation or whatever the case may be, like, that's what it is. And men need that, because that's just like confidence. That's just like reassuring you that, just like a woman when she goes outside and when she goes downstairs or whatever the case may be, and she say, hey, do I look good? You, as a lady, you should never ask your man, do I look good? Your man should always say, you look good, bro. And that's the same way that a man should want to feel when a woman, when she's doing what she's doing, he doesn't have to say, am I doing this right? Am I doing? You doing good, bro. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, and I think women have been so hard, and I don't know why they be so hard on men. Like, men are human and they need love too. I think because society says men don't cry, or men don't have feelings. I think women started to believe that men don't have feelings, that they don't need affirmation or praise or an ego boost. They really dismiss all that. They don't understand the value that has. And so there's a lot of women waiting to find husbands. I was on a YouTube thread the other day, and I was a lot of women saying they have been waiting 20 plus years, myself included. But I was shocked to see so many women saying that, looking for Mr. Right or the right one or whatever. And I think a lot of women probably found or came across good men, but women were quick to tell them, oh, he's not the one, or he's not good enough. And they probably missed out trying to hold to some other woman's standard instead of finding what's right for them.
There was a meme that I saw back in the day, and they were talking about how women, it was a husband and wife, and they were walking down the aisle, and the meme was, she used to DM me, or I used to DM her, and she never responded, meaning the girl that he was DMing, like, hey, I'm trying to be with you. And now that the man had moved on and went down the aisle, she looking like, dang. But the meme was, I used to DM you, and you never wanted me. Right. You never wanted anything. But I don't understand it. I don't understand it, because there are a lot of things that a lot of women or a lot of men, especially women, because they have so much power, they have destroyed a lot of things, man. They have destroyed a whole lot of things. Not saying they have never built anything, but they've destroyed so much when it comes to like love, trust. And that's what I'm asking, like, how? How can women demand or want all this and knowing the things that they have done and knowing the capabilities that they have, but they never choose to utilize it?
Yeah. I don't know. But everyone can stay tuned from part 2 of this, where we have women's perspective. We're going to get into that and dig even a little deeper, because the women, we dissect it, we pick it all the way apart. And women, it's going to get probably a little bit passionate. I don't want to say heated, because it's going to be a friend of mine, and we are very, very cool, and it's someone I respect dearly. So anyway, stay tuned for part 2 of this episode of let me title it, Can Men Lead in the Relationship?
Men can lead.
Stay tuned. Sadditty Says.